What's up, y'all? Welcome back to our channel. Welcome to Spoken Words with T and J.
I am T.
And I am Jay. And today we're going to be going into a more in-depth version of like his testimony, because the first time you heard my testimony, but then he had did like an hour-long video of his, but there was a lot of stuff that was left out due to time reasons and our children. It was late. So we couldn't really go into as much detail as we needed to. And there was actually a lot that was left out of his testimony and story. And with this one, we're going to be going into more depth to lead into our next video, which will be regarding like lust, homelessness, strongholds, stuff like that. So
Generational curses, things like that. So what I left out was about my childhood trauma. I was abused by my mother mentally, emotionally, and physically at a young age. From the earliest I can remember, about 3 years old. So my mom, the way she abused me physically multiple times, right? But also was the first one that I remember when she, like, back in the day in the 90s, we had tails. So I used to have a tail right here. And it was like real long. That was just part of my whole thing. And I loved it so much. So my mom got mad and she cut it off. And that broke my heart because she knew I loved the tail, but she just wanted to cut it off to make an example. But like I said, I was only like 4 years old at the time, you know what I'm saying? So after that, say I was about 5-ish, my mom stabbed me in the head. She tried to kill me. And when she tried to kill me, she stabbed me in the head and went to the hospital. She said I fell through a table and glass got into my head and stuff like that. And
she stabbed you in the head.
So my mom stabbed me in the head because she was angry and upset. And why she was angry and upset, she used to always take her anger out on me and my brother. So at that time, it was, oh, you look like your dad and this, like, stuff like that. And when she stabbed me in the head, of course, I don't understand why my mom stabbed me in the head and stuff like that at the time. But as you get older, you be like, oh, okay, now I understand. She had some kind of resentment with me looking like my father, certain things that I would do or say and stuff like that. But our mom always like punched us in the face, all type of things like that. Like I said, this is back when I was still in Saginaw, Michigan. So while we in Saginaw, Michigan, this is all what's going on. So now I'm going to start telling you how that type of stuff end up introducing me to accidentally burn down the house, right? So when I end up accidentally burning down the house, I was watching Barney. And while I was watching Barney, the devil told me on the screen, at the time I'm a kid, it said I was playing with a lighter, my mom's lighter, right? So my brother, we went to Longfellow School, which was like a couple houses down from the school. My brother was at school, my mom was in her bed, right? I was in my room, I was sick. I couldn't go to school because I was sick. So I wanted to play Super Mario. My mom had Super Mario in her room. In my room, I had the regular Nintendo. So first went in there while she was in the bed asleep. I'm sitting there sneaking playing the game. She sleep playing Super Mario World. Boom. End up seeing the lighter. And my mom had fresh shoelaces. So as I see the shoelaces, right, I go get the lighter and I light the shoelace on fire, a little plastic tip, catch a little fire, I put it out. So as I put it out, I sit back down, turn the TV on, I start watching Barney. And that's where I hear Barney tell me through the screen, get the lighter, set this on fire. It was the Shaw. You know how the Shaw, what?
I'm sorry. Like, no, you can continue with your story. Go ahead. It's the Shaw.
So it's the Shaw. So I end up going with the lighter, come back, and I'm sitting on the bed, and I light the Shaw on fire. As I light the Shaw on fire, it spreads very quickly on the bed where I couldn't even put it out because I just lit it and I tried to put it out, but it just, and my mom was in the bed. So I'm like, mommy, wake up. The bed is on fire. Mommy, wake up. The bed is on fire. She, but the fire ended up catching up to her area, and I guess she felt the heat that woke her up. So she's standing in the bed like this, trying to jump out, trying to find out how she's going to jump out. So she jumps out, go downstairs, get some water, throw it on the fire. When she throws it on the fire blazes up.
Yeah, you need a fire extinguisher for fires like that.
But at the time, we ain't know, I'm a kid. She just want to try to put the fire out, but it blazed it. And we had a dog. So I ended up kicking the dog down the stairs, trying to get out and stuff like that. So as we get out and stuff like that, my big brother, they see it because the school is literally, I want to say 3 or 4 houses down from the house that we at that time. So as we there, my brother come like, oh, my whole family's dead. They had me in the back of the ambulance. I had my mom in the back of the ambulance and stuff like that. And they was trying to put out the fire, but the fire just took over the whole entire house. And they had to go ahead and just let it burn and then put the water on it. So they come to me like, why did you do this? And because I told them what happened and stuff like that. Fire people cussing me out. I was bad. And I was cussing them out as a kid, like, I was like, shut the F up, da 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 da. To them, it's 5. So that's why when I'm telling y'all this, that way y'all understand when we talk about the strongholds and generational curses and stuff like that, y'all will understand. Because with me being abused as a kid, I didn't also know I had generational curses put on me too. So demons been at me since I was a kid, and I didn't know, But back to the story and telling y'all what's going on, as that ended up happening, we ended up moving with my grandmother. I think she was on Remington Street at the time, so we ended up moving with my grandmother for like about a couple months and stuff like that. Now that led us to Dallas, Texas. Now during all this time and stuff like that, while with my grandma and stuff, my grandma's taking care of and stuff like that. So the abuse wasn't really going on like that because my grandmother and grandfather was around. Mm-hmm. But when we moved to Dallas, Texas, it got extremely worse because me as a kid, I never knew that my mom was on drugs and stuff like this, right? So when we go to Dallas, Texas, we end up seeing going from homeless shelter to homeless shelter to homeless shelter to hotel to homeless shelter. We did that for probably about a good year. So, mind you, now I'm about 5, 6 years old. As we go on a homeless shelter to hotel, we end up getting an apartment complex, living in an apartment complex. And while we in that time at the apartment complex, the homeless shelter and stuff was feeding us while we was there. So it's things that I'm saying that I didn't see because we had food and water and stuff like that because the homeless shelter provided it for us. So now when we get our own spot, I see something completely different. So as we there, we got I think it was Sedona Creek or something like that in Dallas, Texas. So we there, we live in an apartment complex, we got our own spot and stuff like that. This when I started seeing the transition with my mom. So while we there, I want to say for about the first month and a half, we have food and stuff like that. We going to school and things like that. Then all of a sudden, my mom is gone. She gone for like about a week. Like she'll just be gone for a week. Nowhere around us, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't having no food. Not the lights done soon start coming off, the water's gonna start coming off and stuff like that. So I'm not understanding what's going on. So one day, my mom come back, she got this smell on her. Like she has this smell. I don't know what this smell is at the time, but it's the residue from crack cocaine. You know what I'm saying? She looking all out of it, eyes all big and red and glossy looking and stuff. So I'm like, Ma, she's like, huh? What's going on? I gotta get some stuff. Like she getting stuff, but she's just selling stuff. She's coming to get clothes and shoes and selling it. So one day I end up walking to with my mom. She knows behind her. I end up seeing her going inside of a crack house. And that's when I realized that my mom was sprung out on drugs. So I'm like, oh, I seen some other stuff in there too, but I ain't gonna say what was. So, but that's when I actually realized what was going on. So as that's going on and stuff like that, I'm like, man, what? I'm like, I'm literally like, my brain is like rattled, fried because I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand what's going on. I tell my big brother, he 3.5 years older than me and stuff like that. He got a better understanding of what's been going on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he tried to take care of me as best fit it can as a kid. So I'm like, man, I'm living with this thing and I'm started thinking, I'm like, she wasn't like this before. And I started thinking like, oh, this is me. This is me. This is because of me, because I burnt down the house. This would lead my mom to being on drugs. I was carrying that as a kid, right? So later on, as we're going through these things and stuff, my mom, when she does around, she gets more abusive. She is beaten. You know what I'm saying? But she's dealing with her own demons. I'm not understanding that as a kid, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wholeheartedly forgive her to this day for everything. But I'm just telling y'all what was going on. You know, my testimony. So I'm like, what? And I'm like, all this stuff is going on. And I'm like, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault, because I'm like, she wasn't like this beforehand when we was living in Michigan and stuff like that. So that led to me having traumas. And while me being traumatized by all this stuff, not knowing it's demons that's coming inside of me as well while all this is going on. It's demons that's entering in me, because now I'm getting fractured and broken. And you know what I'm saying? So fast forward to after that. Sorry, somebody keep calling my phone. So after that, as me carrying that guilt, I didn't find out about the real reason why my mom got on drugs until I end up coming to Cincinnati, Ohio. So from the time frame from me being 5 to 6 years old all the way up to like 12, 13, I was in Texas, and I had some cousins and aunts that helped out during the time and stuff like that. You know, during that time I was there, I did end up living under a bridge and stuff like that before my cousins ended up finding out what was going on with my mom being on drugs out in the streets and stuff like that. You know, they came in and they helped when they can and stuff like that. And God rest cousin Tanya, which I call her my mother, Tanya, rest her soul. She kept me and my brother for a year until she got pregnant with her oldest son, Jaden. And then that's how my grandmother ended up getting custody of us. And then we end up going back to Saginaw, Michigan in 2001, I believe. So from 95 up to 2001, I was in Texas in that span time. Okay. So now when I get back to when I get back to Michigan, you know, I'm living with my grandparents. That's who instilled the Bible and discipline and stuff like that inside of me. That's where I get that from. And when I was in Texas, we was going to church and stuff too, but I was young. I really didn't understand. Yeah. So when I got with my grandmother and them, it gave me a full-fledged understanding, because now I'm 12 through 18 years old. And this is what they're instilling in me, you know? So as we're going through this stuff, I didn't know I had the spirit of rejection, because I always felt rejected by the people who were supposed to love me and stuff like that, like my mom and stuff like that. So that carried like a spirit of rejection coming on with me. So as we're going on with the spirit of rejection, I get older and I start understanding these things now. Okay? So now, my next topic I want to hit is, boom, from 12 to 18, I'm in Saginaw, Michigan with my grandmother. When I get 18, I come to Cincinnati to reconnect with my mother. So my mother was living here probably like 4 or 5 years now. So I moved here to reconnect with my mother. So now,
so wait, when you was in Saginaw with your grandparents, she was in Cincinnati.
Yeah. So she was locked up probably like 2 years out of that. But then when she got clean, she came back to Saginaw for a couple months, and then she came to Cincinnati. So that's how that went like that, because Muz and Tanya moved here. Then you got Aunt Tracy that lived here, you know what I'm saying? And Uncle John, which is Tracy and Tanya's father. And Aunt Joyce, and that's their mother and father. They was here in Cincinnati. So that's how my mom came here to Cincinnati. So that's how she came here to Cincinnati. And as that's going on, you know, when I come and move here when I'm about 18 years old, 2008 to be exact. So I come here to Cincinnati. So I come to Cincinnati, I'm trying to reconnect with my mom and stuff. Like I said, I forgive her. But then she still had those same abusive traits. She wasn't physically beating on me and my brother. She was mentally and emotionally still abusing. And I'm like, you know, trying to, like, I forgive you, Mom, and stuff. But then that's how I ended up finding out when I was going to Cincinnati State. They had wanted me to write a paper. And on a flash drive, I always kept 2 stories on my flash drive about what, you know, how they ask, like, oh, what's something that changed your life? On my flash drive, I had 2 stories. One is about the Holy Ghost, when I first got the Holy Ghost at Faith Charity Pentecostal Church back in Saginaw, Michigan. And the other one was when I burned down the fire. I mean, when I burned down the house with the fire. I'm sorry, when I burned down the house. And that story,
burn down that fire.
it. But when I burned down the house, I always kept that on the flash drive, and I put on there like I was the reason why my mom got on drugs. I was the reason for her being on drugs and stuff like that. So this particular day, I'm at Cincinnati State. I just went ahead, plugged in the flash drive in my computer, and printed it out. But I turned the computer off, and I took the flash drive out, but the paper was still up on the thing. So when my mom turned the computer on the screen, so when she turned the computer on, she ended up seeing it. Now I'm at school. I ain't know. So I'm at school. My mom called. So she like, hey, Poopy, it's my nickname. When you get out of school, come straight home. Need to talk to you. So I'm like, all right, cool. Everything good? She's like, just come home. I'm like, all right, cool. Get out of school. Come home. My mom was sitting there crying. Like when I come in and stuff, you could tell she was crying. She had tears on her face and stuff. I'm like, what's up, Mom? She like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what? She's like, I read your paper. I'm like, what you mean, what paper? She was like, the one that you printed out about the fire and stuff like that. So I'm like, and I put my head down because I've been carrying this on my shoulders since I was 5 years old. Mind you, I'm 18 now. So that's 13 years, 12, 13 years that I'm carrying this on my shoulder, that I was the reason my mom was on drugs. She told me, she said, Poopy, I was already on drugs back when we was in Saginaw before you burnt the house down. I just hid it. But then when I got to Texas, I got sprung out. And I was like, whoa. It was a news flash to me because I had so much anger and resentment with myself. And then I started thinking about the abuse that she was doing and stuff. I was thinking all that was coming from when I got older. Like, oh, that was me because I burned down the house. That's why she don't love me. That's why she don't want me. That's what I really thought.
Demons will do that to you, though.
Yeah. But
they'll put shame and guilt for someone else's mistake. You see what you did?
Mm-hmm.
Look at your mommy now. But also to attest for his mom, like, the demons used her grief because she grieved her house, you know. I don't think you told him how you told me every time she heard the word fire.
Yeah, every time she heard, boy, man,
Yeah.
I like, got so many whoopings, man.
Yeah, but his mom, you could tell, but with that, what he told me, you could tell his mom was traumatized from that fire too, and she had lost everything. Because he said his mom was doing good. She was obviously a functioning drug addict. Mm-hmm. But the fact that she lost everything, in her mind, it was forget it, right? The devil will convince you, well, you've already gone this far now. Why not just take a little bit more? And you take a little bit more. Just take a little bit more, and then you take a little bit more. And that's how she ended up getting sprung out. And I've been friends with people who like used to be on drugs and stuff like that. I'm not gonna mention any names, but they told me their stories, and they said that's how it feels. They said there's one event, it's always something super traumatic, or them feeling a deep sense of loss, and then the devil sneers his little way in. Just take this. It'll make you feel better. It'll make you, get rid of all your troubles. And she told me, this particular friend told me, the way it felt was like it made her feel happy in the moment, but worse. Like at first she would feel happy in that moment, and she would feel like I don't have to worry about nothing. Meanwhile, everything around you physically is deteriorating. Like she ended up losing custody of her kids and everything. But while you on the drug, it don't make you feel that way. You do everything to taste that drug. It's almost like idolatry. That drug becomes your God. You want that. You seek that. You'll give up everything and anything for that. And that is how it was designed. So I give sympathy to his mom for that, because that's how the devil used her in that fire. Mm-hmm. It convinced one of her children to take away something she cherished, so that it could get deeper into her vice, you should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm like, thank you for that too. But it was just like, it was a lot to manage, like, you know what I'm saying? And then when I moved back and just wanted to reconnect with her and stuff, she used mind games, manipulation tactics and stuff like that. It wasn't no more physical abuse, because, I'm 17, 18 years old and stuff like that. Big brother 21 and stuff like that. So she would do things like, oh yeah, okay, y'all go pay bills stuff here. That's fine. We could pay bills. We could do this and stuff like that. That's fine. We give her the money to pay the bills and stuff like that, but she wasn't paying them. She'll start doing other stuff with it. She was taking things from us. She'll still look at us like we little kids. So she'll talk to us like we little kids and stuff like that. And it came to a point where she wasn't paying like the Duke and stuff like that. But me and my brother giving her the money for the bill and stuff like that, the lights got cut off. And so I'm like, Ma, we gave you the money for that. Oh, I did pay it and this. Now, I didn't know that she went down there and switched the Duke into my name. Yeah. So what she did, she switched the Duke account into my name. She already had lights and stuff, but who was giving her money and stuff like that, because she had my social security numbers from my mother and stuff like that. She switched the Duke account into my name. So when the lights and stuff got cut off, it went on my stuff. And I'm like, what? Because I was trying to call and put the Duke in my name. That's how I found out the account was already in my name. So yeah. So it was like, what? And I tell whatever, I did pay it. They lying. I'm like, Ma, you didn't pay it. She'll go buy clothes or buy some shoes and stuff like that, or want to go out to eat with her friends and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, I didn't realize what a narcissist was at that time. I didn't know what a narcissist was till almost 10 years after what I'm telling you now. Okay? She told me what a narcissist was, by the way. But I didn't know what a narcissist was till 10 years after that whole thing. So as the coming through with all this stuff, I had to realize and understand. I told my mother this. I said, look, you're not an addict anymore, or active addiction. That's what they go call it, the respect of the community. You're not in active addiction no more, but you have the mindset that you're in active addiction. Everything was about money, and I got to get what I need right here, right now. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It was times where I would go buy food, right? My mom would be like, oh, you ain't paid for this freezer, so you can't put food in here. So serious. Now, if I'm lying, you can ask my brother. He probably won't tell the truth, but these are the things that she was doing while we was there with her. So, when I always wanted to look out for my mom, look out for my brother and stuff like that. But the whole time, I didn't know that she was trying to draw me to make me like her toy, because she only seen us as kids. That's what she seen. She didn't see us as adults. She seen us as kids still. So now, fast forward where I done moved out, got my own spot, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still keeping in contact. I'm still just trying to be a good son, because it's so much I missed out on. I still wanted that love from my mother. So me, I'm doing everything I can. Okay, I'm gonna be a good son. Make sure she stopped. Make sure she got groceries. Okay, she did do this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still gonna try to be this good son to her. I tried, and I tried. You know what I'm saying? So, we still had good times at times and stuff like that. But I had to realize that I can't change her. She's going to have to change herself. So now I'm going to lead into the part where we talk about my marriage and stuff like that. Now, I already gave y'all brief detail about what wedding and stuff, what happened with the wedding and stuff like that, right? So now after my wedding, I didn't talk to my mother. I literally, whoever was there in the family that act the way they acted, I didn't talk to none of them. I just left it up. All right, that's what y'all go do. Cool. I love y'all, but I love y'all from a distance. Okay? And that's why I said only two people that knew the full-fledged truth was Muzz and Tanya and Darian. Rest in love to both of them. Okay? Those are only two people that really knew that was going on and stuff. So now, when we get married, a lot of people didn't know that she was pregnant with Miracle, okay? So now I'm going to backtrack from the wedding. Okay. So before we got married, right, we lost a daughter. We lost little Hannah, okay? So now I'm gonna tell you the story of how we lost little Hannah. So it was Thanksgiving. My aunt and my little cousin was here. They was here in Cincinnati. So we had an Impala at the time. We only had one car at the time. I go outside to try to start up the car. The car wouldn't start. The battery was shot. So, you know, it's Thanksgiving. People ain't finna come out, get the battery and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I knew a dude. So I knew a dude who sold batteries and stuff. So I told my mom, I called my mom, I'm like, yo, mom, we ain't gonna be able to come. This is my exact words. My little cousin even told me, he heard me say this. I said, Ma, we can't come right now because the battery is dead in our car. She flipped out. What? You ain't gonna come? Huh? What you mean you ain't gonna come? Why don't you get on the bus and just leave them there? I said, I'm not gonna leave them there. You know what I'm saying? I said, she's pregnant. And I'm like, we got Sam. I'm not gonna just get on the bus and leave them there in the house like this. Honestly, I didn't want to go. I told Hannah, like, look, I don't want to go. Because after we got off the phone, I told her, I said, look, I don't want to go. She gonna be on some bull. I know my mom, she gonna be all that. I don't want to go. She was like, no, but I'm craving this stuff. I'm like, I understand that. I said, oh, we can get the car, get the battery and stuff, dude to be on his way and stuff. I said, I can stay here. Y'all can go. I don't want to go. And she was like, what? I'm like, I don't want to go. She go be on some bull. She was like, but I'm craving. I said, that's cool. So I sucked it up. I went ahead. I went. Soon as we get over there, guess who's sitting outside the apartment complex? My mother. She see me, we get out the car. Yeah, I said, see? I said, Hannah, this is why I didn't want to come. Hannah was like, you said you didn't want to come. I said, look, here go the keys. I said, at the end of the day, you can stay. I will get on the bus. I will wait an hour because a bus runs once every hour on the holiday up to like 5, 6 o'clock. I was like, look, here go the keys. I will get on the bus. I will sit out here and wait on the bus. I don't want to go in there and I'll go back home. She like, no, let's go. Just go ahead. Da, 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 da. So me and my mom ended up talking in the laundry room. And she was like, yeah, I thought you said you wasn't coming. I said, I didn't say I wasn't coming. I said, I'm not coming right now. And I said, I'm not coming right now. She's like, oh, I thought you said you wasn't coming. And so I thought you was going to put them over me. And I'm like, Ma, this is my family. She got my baby and stuff like that. Look, I was going to come, but I wasn't going to come at that moment because of this. And so she, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So she trying to play all the stuff off or whatever, right? So we get back in there and my mom was like, yeah, let me touch your stomach, girl. Let me touch your stomach. And even in African culture, they don't believe in letting people touch their stomach and stuff like that. So Hannah was like, go ahead. So she touched it. She rubbed her stomach. Not knowing at that time my mom did what happened. She let an entity take over and kill the baby. Okay? Mind you, I told you that was Thanksgiving, right? So after she touches her stomach and stuff like that, the next following week go past. And my mom was like, why don't y'all bring Sam over here to this daycare for me? That's what she was doing. I'm like, well, because so we had little daycare issues and stuff like that. We both working at Amazon building one at the time, if I'm not mistaken. So she like, yeah, you can just bring them to the daycare up here on the ridge and I could just pick them up and y'all come get them for me. So I'm like, all right, cool, we'll do that. So we literally did it that week, moved daycares and stuff. The first day she called saying, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it no more. I'm like, do it no more. This is the first day. You the one who suggested this for us to do it. But then when we do it, you ain't want. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, see, this is why I be telling you. This is my exact words to her. This is why I'm telling you. she only want to do stuff when it comes with money or she gets an incentive out of it and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I knew I shouldn't have moved them. You know what I'm saying? So she like, oh, matter of fact, she was with Mary at the time. She was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to come get them. So we forced ourselves to go get them that day. But then she called me later on that night. And like, you know what? I'm sorry and stuff, but y'all can put them back up in there and stuff. I'll come get them, da 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 da. Right? So now this is where Hannah has the miscarriage. Now we don't know at the time she's having a miscarriage. Get off Hannah like something wrong with my stomach, and you know what I'm saying? So I called my mom like, hey mom, you got Sam, can you keep Sam for the night? I gotta take her to the hospital. And she like, what you doing driving? Because at the time, my license was messed up. She like, what you doing driving? You ain't supposed to be driving. I gotta take her to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, she can't drive. She was driving, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to take her to the hospital. So mom like, what you mean? I'm like, I gotta take her to the hospital. Something going on. And she's like, well, y'all gotta come get Sam right now. Y'all gotta come get him. Come get him. And I'm like, I gotta take her to the hospital. Something's going on. Like, she's saying her stomach is hurting and stuff like that. So, long story short, we end up going over to go get Sam and stuff, right? So we going to go get Sam. We end up going to the hospital and stuff. And as we go to the hospital, they said the baby don't have a heartbeat. We praying, we rebuking, and all that type of stuff like that. Okay? At the time, I didn't know that she was the cause of it, right? So I'm like, what? Just going through the motions of everything. I get into a dark place once the baby end up coming out. Like the baby end up coming out. I seen it in the toilet and stuff like that. So I end up finding out that she was the one that killed our daughter. I didn't tell nobody when we got pregnant with Miracle. I didn't tell nobody, right? I kept it shut and stuff like that because now I knew that she was tampering with other spirits and other demonic entities, which led to the death of little Hannah while she was in her mama's
In other
womb.
words, what he's trying to say is he found out, because he told me this story, he found out his mom lived next to someone who practiced witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
His mother started to get into witchcraft herself. She started wearing the crystals, the necklaces. She started doing the spells. That's what he's saying. So when she touched her stomach, she put a hex. When people do that, they transfer hexes. And I believe in that too, because when I was pregnant, I didn't let a lot of people touch my stomach. Like, people, oh, let me touch it. And back up. And later in the story, we can tell you how the very thing that his mom did to Hannah was trying to do to me when I was pregnant with our daughter.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a true story. So as that's going on, you know, now we're pregnant with Miracle. Okay. We go to church. About to go get her.
I'll get the baby.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause it. Sorry about that. We had to get a baby girl together. So we got her down here with us now. So now, we still 2015. You know, we go to the wedding. Nobody don't know we pregnant with Miracle. So we have Miracle at the end of 2015. We got married in May 2015. We have Miracle December 5th, 2015. So when she was pregnant and stuff, I wasn't telling nobody. And if people did know and stuff, I was giving everybody different due dates because what happened to our oldest daughter. So every time we had a baby, I was just telling people random, except her. That's what she's saying. So so when it comes time for Miracle to be born and stuff like that, when she's born, the first person I call is my grandmother. I tell my grandmother, right? So she like, oh, you ain't tell your mom? I said, no, I'm not telling her. She said, huh? She was like, all right, babe, it's okay. So yeah, I ain't telling her. I call my boy Trice, my brother Trice. Let me correct that. I call my brother Trice. Then after that, Antonia hits me up that same day. And I told Antonia, those are the only 3 people that knew that Miracle was born, okay? So some weeks done went past and stuff like that. My mama finds out, like at the time, I'm still not Facebook friends with her to this day. So at the time, my mama made a Facebook post blasting me and Hannah, talking about that what kind of people were them. They ain't tell me that I had my granddaughter and this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. Started going all the way in. I ain't know she made the post. One of my cousins, remember who you are, I'm not gonna say your name, but my cousin tagged me in the comments. Tagged me in the comments. So when I see the post, I screenshot it. And then I commented on there, and then she tried to delete everything. Okay? This has always been her characteristics. I don't know how she is to this day, but the last time I talked to her, it's still the same. Throw the rock, hide the hand. Okay? So my ex-wife gets my phone, texts her. Keep our name out your mouth, da 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 da. You failed as a mother and you failed as a grandmother. Now, fast forward from that part. After that, my mom texts her back, ha ha ha, takes one to know one. I ain't know what that meant now, but today I know what that means. Because let's go fast forward to what I tell you about about her. Okay? So I'm like, she mean takes one to know one and stuff like that.
I should put it this way too. She wasn't wrong.
No, she wasn't wrong.
She wasn't wrong.
She wasn't wrong. So, like I said in the last video, I didn't know I was chasing after my mother. Okay?
Oedipus.
What's that?
Okay.
Enlighten. Like enlighten.
So, it's called the Oedipus effect. I don't know if anybody has ever read the Greek book Oedipus, but it's pretty much about a man who falls in love with his own mother. And he ends up going through some traumatic events, and he ends up gouging his own eyes out. And it was then, once he no longer had any eyes, that he could truly see, clearly, versus when he actually had his eyesight. So we say the Oedipus effect because when we go through our trauma, even if you have like healthy parents, because not everyone is, living in trauma and stuff. Power to you. Good job. But even whether we're traumatized or not, naturally, subconsciously, when we go out into the world and we seek partners, we seek an example that we have seen. So we're naturally looking for our fathers. We're naturally looking for our mothers. And a lot of times, the partners that we choose remind us of one of our parents. One of you is going to either remind you of your mom or your daddy. Which is why in one of my testimonies, I had told y'all I was in a relationship with my father. So a lot of times when you grow up in a toxic household, you mimic that in your own adult dating life. And you end up dating that person, your father, or dating that person, your mother, even if you feel like you're doing better. Because naturally, that's what you feel comfortable with. And that's why I remember I read a post that said a lot of times our nervous system mistake familiarity with safety. And that's not true. A lot of times we're looking for something familiar, but that doesn't mean that it's safe, right? If we grew up getting beat on and stuff, that wasn't safe, but it's familiar. So we naturally have a broken sense of okayness with it, but that doesn't make it safe. So long story short, he didn't know he ended up with his mama.
Yeah, I found it out after the fact, literally. So now, after she says that takes one, ha ha ha, takes one to know one, and then a comment. So about 2 months go past, Miracle's a newborn baby. She, you know what I'm saying? So Hannah was telling me earlier that week that she said, I'm going to run into my mom. So I'm like, all right. So we're leaving the Kenwood Mall, coming down Montgomery Road. I keep hearing, you're going to run into your mom, you're going to run into your mom. This is what I'm hearing. I'm just driving, you're run into your mom. And I know it's God telling me this. So I'm driving down, I look to the right, going past the Family Dollar by the area where my mom stay at. She right there at the bus stop. Hannah like, pull in. I'm like, man, I'm stubborn. I ain't want to. But I went ahead, pulled in and stuff like that. So this is the first time since that incident where she made that Facebook post and then her and Hannah going at each other in text that I seen her. So I got out the car. She's like, oh, what's up, son? I'm like, what's up? I'm not gonna lie, I'm dry because I show it. What's up, man? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm like, your granddaughter in here, you want to see her and stuff. she's like, so what y'all doing over here? I said, we just left the Kenwood Mall and stuff like that. We got to go to church later and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I want to go to church with y'all. Can I go to church with y'all? Y'all just come over to my house and stuff. I honestly don't want to be around her. But out of respect, because it's my mother, I'm like, all right, whatever. So she see Miracle for the first time. She's like, oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. But I'm like, look, bro, I already know what you did with the last. No. Okay, so leave it be. Anyway, so as we going on and stuff like that, we go to our house, we sit down, we talk, we eat, whatever. Now we going to church. So now we going to church. So we go to church. It's a prophet. Prophet don't know me. He don't know Hannah. We got invited from another pastor to this church. It was like a revival week or whatever. So he in there just praying, you know. He's like this. Who is Tobias? Like, he still got his eyes closed. He said, who is Hannah? Now, remind you, while we at that church, my mom kept trying to take Miracle outside. Should I take her outside? I kept asking, let me take her outside. I'm like, nah, she cool. Mind you, Miracle only 2-3 months old at the time. You know what I'm saying? But she kept trying to take her outside. Kept trying to take this baby outside. I asked about 3 times. He's like, nah. So as the service is going on, so when the prophet says, who is Tobias? Do this. Then he said, who is Hannah? And he said, his eyes closed the whole time. He said, I'm seeing a baby casket. He said, I see Miracle. Nobody in there know her daughter's name. And he said, it's somebody. They want to kill this baby. They're trying to kill this baby. He said, somebody in your family. They're trying to kill this baby and stuff. He said, I'm not going to say no more. You come see me at the church. Right? So we go to church. He tells me and Hannah, he said, be very careful with her. Don't be afraid of her. You be careful with her. She wants to kill your baby. Tell me. And I'm like, it's the one who killed your other baby.
That's when he found out that she was the one when she touched the belly.
When she touched the belly, I already felt like this in my spirit because we don't go around people. And Hannah was super early pregnant. Like she wasn't in her she wasn't even in the second trimester at the time. Okay? So this is going on and stuff like this. And I'm like, in African culture, she was telling me this, that, and that. And I'm like, well, my mom was the only one that touched your stomach. My mom's the only one that touched her stomach. We wasn't around nobody else. Nobody else knew you was pregnant and stuff when we lost little Hannah and stuff like that. But my mom was always trying to dog her out and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? It was stuff that I didn't see that my mama seen because they're the same person.
So more like, I've been told this too. When people dwell in like dark magic, witchcraft, or they have those spirits on them, they could recognize one just like them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever watch witch testimonies, like the one as good is from Craft of Christ. And there's a few on We Need to Talk. Go watch his podcast. Amazing. Phenomenal.
You will learn a lot.
Doing your thing. Mm-hmm. You see you doing it. So typically they will, every single last one of them done told you, done said, the ones I've watched about 2 or 3 of them now. Mm-hmm. And they all done said the same thing. It was like when you dwell in witch and you deep in it and you consider yourself to be a witch, you can recognize other witches. Mm-hmm. And so his mom was doing witchcraft and deep into that stuff. She saw that inside of Hannah at the time, which is why she said, takes one to know one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, now all that is making sense now because I didn't know I had married my mom. So when I married Hannah, she put on a mask.
I saw too.
For the first couple of years, right? She had a mask on, and she used to say like, "If I don't have your son, I'm not a true African woman. I'm not a true African woman." And I'm like, "What? Whatever." Da 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 da. Like, cool.
That's for tradition though. Like a lot of in their culture, the African man. Why am I talking like that? The African man. I'm sorry, y'all. is supposed to inherit the land. So that's like just tradition, the tribes and stuff.
But yeah, so it's that, you know what I'm saying? We end up conceiving Elijah, then we conceived Jeremiah. And while we're in the marriage stuff, like I said in the last video, I didn't realize who I was dealing with once all the masks started coming off. So she put on her facade that I'm this Christian woman. I go to church, I pray, I fast. After Elijah, thinking she going through postpartum depression, just thinking that she going through, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then, no, it was after Elijah was born.
I know, but you
But
said it got worse.
it got worse after Jeremiah. Then that's when I had to start realizing like what's going on.
And that is when he met me.
That's when I met her after Jeremiah was born. So I'm like, me and her, I see her, hey, how you doing? Stuff. That
is a lie,
y'all. like she tells
Wait till we tell y'all our story, okay? He got on my nerves when we first met, and he used to tell myself, I used to say hi, good morning. He used to follow me. He used to follow me.
So it was a whole different thing. Like, so, you know, she was the one that ended up telling me that Hannah was a narcissist. And my exact words was a narco who? What the heck is that?
He was a narco who? But the reason why I was able to pinpoint that is because if y'all heard, go watch our last video and the one before that. Mm-hmm. My father is a narcissist. So I was raised by one and I recognized the signs. I ended up learning what a narcissist was when I was like 19, 20 years old. And found out my sister, it rubbed off on my sister too. And then I was attracting them in the guys that I would date. So I became very familiar with what a narcissist and their tendencies were. And I know he was just coming to me for like a female's perspective, you know. He was very confusing at first. I was like, you know, you might be right. Maybe it is the postpartum, you know, because I had Messiah at that time. And I understood the emotional roller coaster you go through after having a child. So I was like, it might be. And then she had them back to back to back. So she might be going through that right now.
Yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
It was just certain details he told me that did not make sense, y'all. I was like, Excuse me.
Hold on, I'll cut you off really, really quick. I'm sorry. And the reason why I told her, because God showed me in a dream that I can trust her. And I never talked about this to nobody.
Besides your grandma.
Yeah, I talked to my grandma. Yeah, besides my grandma. My grandma know. Hey, grandma. But grandma knew what was going on and stuff. And I was just trying to understand because I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Some people I didn't want to talk to because they be like, oh, you need to leave and this. I ain't even want to, you know what I'm saying? But God showed me specifically in a dream that I can trust her. So that's why I talked to her about it. And she was the first person that I opened up to about how Hannah was acting and stuff like that. There you go. Go ahead.
I was actually really shocked because when we first met, that's all he talked about. Y'all, he loved his wife 1,000%. He loved his children. He loved his home. That's all he talked about. Yeah, me and my wife was able to get a house like this. He was putting other people on game on how they could build their own houses and what they could do, the channels they could go through, equity. Like, he was putting other people on how to do that stuff. And he would talk about his babies a lot. At this time, he was still lying to people about the dates they was born and stuff. He was still lying to people, like, about the dates, the times they was born. He told me the truth, though. And he showed me the pictures of them. No, this was born this one was born this time, this one. And I looked at him like, is that the right? He was like, no, like this is when they was born and stuff. And we found out that Jeremiah and Messiah was only like, what, a year apart or something. Like they both was in diapers still. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just had my son. Like, so I was really shocked. When he would talk about his wife, it was always of high stature. So it was one day, I'll never forget it. It was one day we was eating lunch and he just, y'all, if anybody knows him, Tobias can talk, okay? So when he's silent, something's wrong. So he was sitting, he was too silent. He was just, what was Messiah? Our kids are upstairs, y'all. You got kids, you know. You got multiple kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a treasure her bottle, y'all. So I'm leaning off camera. Go ahead.
But I so like he was sitting very quiet, and I was like, "You all right?" He was like, "Something been weighing on me, and this isn't something that I typically open up to people about, but I feel like I can trust you." And I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, "Me and my wife are actually having trouble." And he was like, "It's been like this ever since my firstborn son, my second child." And he started going into detail or whatever, and how he was feeling, the things she was doing, the things she was saying, the way she was acting. And that's when at first I was like, "Oh, it might be this." And I actually was like that, for months? It was like months went by, and I was like, "Well, try this." He was trying different stuff. Something told me, no, baby. Something was like, he's dealing with a spirit. And I was like, so I had something was like telling me to ask him a certain amount of questions, right? It was a list of questions. I remember I had asked him, I said, if he says yes, I think I touched on this in the last video, but I said, if he says yes to all these questions, he's dealing with a narcissistic spirit. Mm-hmm. And so I asked him, and he said yes to all of them. And I was like, I hate to say this. I was like, yeah, I'm your friend. I actually genuinely care about you. I was like, but you dealing with a narcissist, and that's the worst kind of relationship you could be in. He was like, a narco, who?
What is that?
And I started going into detail about what a narcissist was. He started doing his own research. His mind was blown after that, because he said she ticked every single box. He said, what? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, it's pretty much a broken spirit that builds up a lie based off of selfishness. Short terms.
Yeah, so that's when everything started making sense to me. Like, okay, so me, I'm like, no, I could pray with her. We can get this off. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole time while I'm in this marriage, I was always thinking that she was my covering. Mm-hmm. I always thought that. Now, I used to tell people this. Anybody that knows me used to hear me say this. She pray and fast a lot. She does this, bro. She is my covering. Da da da. I would say it up and down. You couldn't tell me nothing.
I think I was the first person who told him that too.
So I was like,
oh my gosh, I feel like I sound so terrible, like a terrible person. Like, you broke his man. Like, guys, I did not. I was getting messages myself. Okay, like I used to have a lot of dreams. I am a dreamer, and I get downloads a lot. And so I was getting downloads about him and his marriage, real stuff. I was getting, and then I was getting high discernment when it came to him and his wife. Not even trying to, because at first I was just trying to help. I was just trying to help, and something was off, and I started having dreams. I would tell him about my dreams, and then he would tell me about certain dreams his wife was having and things she was saying. And I kid you not, I heard the Holy Spirit say she's manipulating those dreams. And I looked at him, and I was like, your wife is manipulating the dreams. And he looked at me and was like, no, she's not. No, she's not. You know, she's prophetic. And I said, no, that's true. I'm not saying she's not having them. I'm saying she's telling you her version of it, not what actually happened. She's telling the version of it that benefits her, not what actually happened. You could tell them some of them.
So yeah, it was man. We had some, like it was
like y'all tell us how they sound. Go ahead.
So which one want me to tell them?
You could tell them about the one with the bike, the one with the stuff on the head. When you was like, I was called to a bunch of stuff.
Okay. Like, so one with the bike, right? So we're on the, like, she's like was on the highway or whatever, and this was her indicating I was leaving her, whatever, right? This is how she was.
This was before me.
This is before me. Always. So she was like, yeah, I had seen you up on the bike, and you had hopped on the bike, and you started going off, but then you fell off. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, you was taking off on the bike, but then you fell off. So I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that was her way of trying to manipulate in the dream that I was leaving. I was going to fall off if I left her. Okay? Everything was just bad for me. Like, even everything was just bad. Like, it didn't matter if, you okay, mamas? It didn't matter if it was just anything that she seen had dealing with me, it had something bad. She was like, yeah, and then if you leave and stuff, a pastor told me that everything is gonna be bad for you. It's something waiting for you on the other side. So if you think the grass green on the other side, it ain't. It's dirt. I'm like, where's all this coming from?
Because again, this is before.
You know what I'm saying? This is before I even got into the process of like I need to leave type stuff. So she was saying all this stuff. Now, while me and her friends, I done told her everything about this woman. No, we doing this and this. And so I was like, this will be a good friend. This is what I'm thinking. This will be a good friend for you. I don't need no friends. I don't even like females. She ain't no good friend for me. This. Then I had a dream that me and her was in battle. And she was right next to me. So I'm like, okay, this will be a person, you know what I'm saying? So I'm telling Hannah this. What, you had a dream? And like, I'm like, yeah, I had a dream that we was in battle and stuff like that. She was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't need to be friends with her and stuff like that. Now, remind, I got to throw this out here too. She prays, she fasts, she does all these things and stuff, right? Every time I try to go to church, what you trying to go to church for? Them ain't no real pastors. They the devil. They this. You don't need to go over there. Da, 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 da. So I didn't question it at first because, like I said, I always thought she was my covering. So I'm like, okay, she's trying to cover me from something, from going to this church and stuff like that. Hannah started having seizures out the blue. Wait, any other dream want me to tell before I go on? No? Okay. So Hannah started having seizures out the blue. But God was already showing me that she was drinking and she was smoking, and it told me it was coming from the drinking, told me to tell her to stop. Hannah didn't stop. She was drinking, I think it's like pink Moscato, but it was Moscato. It was a green bottle and a pink bottle. She was drinking both of them, but it was both Moscatos. So when I tell her about it and stuff like that, she was like, oh, whatever, this. All of a sudden, Juneteenth of 2021, I believe she has a seizure. Boom. She falls out. Never seen nothing like this, like I told you on the last video and stuff like that. She tell the doctors that I beat her up, threw her down the stairs, all that stuff. I told you on the last video. So we go to the pastor. And then when I talked to the pastor about it and stuff, me and her sitting back there. And the pastor was like, it was because he was drinking. That's what God told him. He didn't know she was drinking. I look at her. She say, oh, I thought he was trying to take my fun away. Now, during this time, I'm still staying and trying to be a family man, you know, trying to be a good husband and stuff like that. But during this time, she cussing me out. She treating me wrong, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this.
There was, when me and him were still friends, y'all, there was some stuff that she did to this man, especially when they started their YouTube channel, and I actually was a witness to some of it.
Go ahead, so I don't think I'm lying.
And I'm like, okay, so on their anniversary, right? So they have a family YouTube channel, and it was like Grace and Mercy Family at the time. Now it's a different name.
She called it Good Spirits Family.
But at first it was Grace and Mercy Family, right? And I follow it because I'm supporting him, I'm supporting her. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, support. So he came into work extremely upset, and I was like, what happened? He was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. At this point, he getting angry, and he was like, you know, my anniversary is coming up. This is supposed to be the day me and her came in the union. He said she told me she don't even care about that day. She told me that's the worst day of my life. I ain't getting you nothing. I was like, what? And he was like, she didn't even know at this time, but he told me he had bought her 2 Coach purses. He was like, I bought her 2 Coach purses and I hid them down here. Da, 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 da. He said, I'm gonna surprise her with them on the video. And I think you had did something with Miss Lovely, like Be Lovely.
Yeah, Be Loves. Yeah, so I had did a cameo. Miss Be Loves ended up doing it for free. And I was her favorite YouTuber. So I did a cameo for her to talk about our channel and stuff. And I don't care about that. What you doing that for me? What you doing that for me for? I don't care. I don't care about this day. One of the worst days of my life. I'm like, but this day we came together. Yeah, your family did this and stuff. I hate this day. I said, but what about us? I don't care about that. I'm like, what?
And so when the video came, y'all can actually go on the channel.
Y'all can go watch the video.
Go watch the video.
Matter of fact, I will tag the video. Never mind, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, we forgive this baby.
Yeah. But yes, okay. So it's like,
like we let it go.
So it's like we end up doing like a video or whatever, right? that same day, whatever. I had gave her some. Cause she was in love with bed sheets. I got her like 3 or 4 bed sheets. I got her 2 purses. I got her flowers. I got her balloons. Got all types of stuff. This is our 5th year wedding anniversary. I ain't get nothing. But when it came to that video,
oh, it was a prank.
she's so awesome. Oh yeah, guys. Like I think we was eating like a challenge Miss B Loves did or something like that. I think we was eating like some eggs and bacon or something like that. So she like, yeah, by the way, y'all, it's our 5th year anniversary. So you see me give her a look like this, like,
cause she said it was a prank. I was pranking him, saying I ain't getting him nothing. I did get him something,
but
y'all.
I can't tell y'all what
like,
it is. And I'm looking.
She lied. She didn't get this man nothing. It was for the camera.
It was all for the camera. Like, it was a front.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, yeah, y'all. And then she started going to go get the stuff. Like, oh, he got me this. But she didn't even know I had the purse because I ain't give it to her yet. So while she went to go get the things, I just went ahead and went downstairs and got the purses. And I put them up on the thing. And she's like, oh, guys, he done got me a Coach purse. Oh, this. But I'm just looking at her. Soon as we got done, I said, man, you fake as hell.
Oh, and by the way, they've been together for 7 years, married for 5.
Yep, we was together 7, was married for, that was our 5th year.
She had never gotten this man nothing for his birthday either. All 7 years. Nothing for his birthday, nothing for their anniversaries, nothing for Father's Day. He was doing everything for her. She wasn't doing nothing for him, and she would tell him she didn't care.
Even had one of my sons walk in on my birthday. Come in through the door. Her and all the kids left. It was one time. This is my baby boy. This is Jeremiah. If y'all know Boss Baby.
Yeah, I think this was your 30th, 31st birthday.
Boss Baby outspoken.
Yes,
that boy, he ain't biting his tongue.
Even still.
To this day, Boss Baby ain't biting his tongue. So he walked through the door in my head. I'm thinking, oh, she took him to go get me something for my birthday. And this is just how I'm really thinking. Yeah. Boss Baby says, oh, Mommy said she wasn't getting you nothing for your birthday. This is what he says as soon as he walked through the door.
Tobias cried about
I
that.
cried, bro.
She don't even know that. He came, actually he cried to me and Aisha.
Bro,
he got to work and he broke down crying. He was like, I'm starting to, like, do she love me? Like, so serious. He's like, do she love me? Like, he said to hear my baby say that. Like this man was crying.
It wasn't, oh, what's up, Pops? Yeah. Happy birthday. It was, boom. Yeah, she ain't getting you nothing for your birthday. Hearing this from my son, bro. From a baby. He wasn't no older than 4. And for her to tell that to my kids, you know what I'm saying? That crushed me. Like, man, like
even if you weren't getting them nothing, why would you say that
and
to the baby, you know?
And that's why I told y'all in the last video, Miracle started picking up on stuff. Why is it when it's Valentine's Day, your birthday, Mother's Day, Christmas, and you daddy get you everything, but when it's Father's Day, y'all wedding anniversary, his birthday, you don't get him nothing. Shut up, stay in the child's place. Like I said, there was a lot of stuff that I went through that I didn't talk about.
And on camera, she would put on the front.
She would put on the front. She'll go to church praying and, oh, I'm about to throw up something.
Go ahead.
So she put on the front. Everything was a front with her. You know what I'm saying? The first 2 years when we was together, stuff cool. The first 2 to almost 3 years of the marriage, cool. But after she had Elijah, each year she was just seeing how much can she get away with, because she knew I had patience, I had tolerance and understanding. Like, okay, you might be going through this, and I loved her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it went from that to watching this just be toxic. Just watching this be toxic. And I'm like, I'm trying. Like I said, I'm saying my oldest son. It's my oldest, not mine biologically, but that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? He come talking to me about stuff, and it's like, he's seeing it. He telling his mom, like, man, Pop's just trying to take you out on a date. Anything that came from me, if I want to go do something with her, never wanted to do it. But if it was with her, just going to Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, like I said, there's videos out there.
Look at all the videos on their channel. There is a bunch of Victoria's Secret hauls, Bath and Body Works hauls, purses, like all of these like materialistic things, perfume hauls. He was getting her all of that stuff, and she would do a lot of those videos. Like, all right, let me see what I got, y'all. And she never did anything for him. And then One time she told him that because she was getting mad that he was starting to see her for who she was. So then she would try to flip the script and be like, I don't care, I'll throw all this stuff away. I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need none of this stuff.
None of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then after I left and stuff, and she heard this, like literally, I done left all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? I've been gone for almost 2 years now. But after I leave and stuff, you know what I'm saying? She'll be like, nobody care about no perfume and no purses and this. And I'm like, what?
It wouldn't even be about that. He would be calling about the kids. He would be calling. This is how it would go. He would call her, like, to know when to pick up the kid, because they had an exchange when it came, like, taking them back and forth to school. So he would call her, like, yeah, so the kids, I'll be there around this time. And she would be quiet. Then she'll be quiet. Then she'll be like, don't nobody care about no purses or no perfume or no Victoria's Secret. I can get my own stuff. I don't need you to do that stuff for me. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? Did you even hear what I said? And she was like, yeah, I heard you, but I'm just saying, don't nobody care about none of that. I don't even need you to give me that stuff. He literally just asked her, what time do you need me to be here to pick up the kids? And she gets quiet. That's where her value was when it came to him. Her value was for the stuff that he was doing for her. And she did not work, y'all. She didn't work. So when me and him got together, I ended up telling him, I said, she didn't love you for who you were. She loved you for the things that you did for her. I was like, there's a difference. I've been through that too myself. But I'm like, it showed. And like, even before then, before she even knew me and him was dating, like, she would be calling him Fat A, like all type of stuff. That's why you just a Fat A. Don't ever do nothing. You lay. You think somebody need. Girl, please, I'll leave you. And y'all, but in front of everybody else, she's the perfect mother. She's the perfect wife. There was times, even way back when in 2020, there would be times, it would be me, him, and Aisha. He would be on the phone. He'll, have it on speakerphone. Yo, what's up? Sam would be saying they haven't eaten anything all day. And he'd be like, what you mean you ain't ate nothing all day? He'd be like, yeah, Pops, can you order us some food? Ain't y'all mama there? What's she doing? Oh, she been in the bed all day. In the bed doing what? Is she sleep? He like, nah, she watching TV and stuff. And he like, okay, y'all ain't ate? He like, no, we ain't ate nothing all day, Pops. Like, we hungry. It was a bunch of calls like that. Like, that happened more than one time. And me and Aisha looked at each other like, she ain't cooking for the kids? He said he would come home. The house is trash. She never cooked, never cleaned, none of that. But when somebody was coming over, though, she'll make sure everything was tidy and ready. But this is what narcissists do. They're about image. She had gotten him to the place that she needed him to be. And she felt like because she had his children, he wasn't going to go anywhere. And she would say that too. Like, oh, she was like, I got your kids. You ain't going nowhere.
That was what they say, flex for her. I'm the only woman with his kids. I'm the only woman with his kids. Oh, yeah, you ain't gonna think a man gonna want me with all these kids? Huh? And I'm like, bro, where's all this coming from? You know? But now I start seeing it as the narcissist. Now, like we said, we start understanding more. Because after I left and stuff like that, and like I said, people might not believe this to this day. I married my mother. It just took me years later to realize that my mom was a narcissist and I married a woman that's just like my mother.
And she cursed her son.
And she cursed, Hannah cursed her own son. Her oldest son.
She's like, I cursed you for 1,000 years.
I curse you. I curse you.
You're not my son
You're not my son anymore. So shut up. But yes, you know what I'm saying? She cursed her son and stuff like that. And I'm like, if she'll do that to him and he's biologically not mine, I'm not nothing to her. Right? Then, Jonte get pregnant. Well, I got Jonte pregnant. She didn't get pregnant. But yes. But,
which was supposed to happen.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Y'all, we got our own testimony with that. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So
like, God showed us that we were meant to be together, but we took it too far. That's just us being transparent.
That is a fact.
And we learned some lessons, boo.
Yeah.
But that'll be for another video.
So, you know what I'm saying? Me and her, we done split, you know what I'm saying? I done left the house, all that stuff like that. And when we find out with baby girl Treasure,
I'm pregnant
with her, I go over there and tell them, this is what this woman tells me, right? So I'm like, hey kids, y'all about to have another sibling, this, that, and the third, or whatever. Sam has a hood on it, like he had a hoodie on. Sam put his hood over his head. He just sit down. So Miracle, Zach, where's my baby? Told me, crushed my little heart. I'm over it. I talked to her and stuff. She's like, that ain't gonna be my brother or sister. I'm like, what? No, that is your brother and sister and stuff. So she was what, 8?
She just turned 9.
She just turned 8. No, she just turned 9 because she's 10 now.
Yeah.
She's 9. So, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's getting old. I know.
Yes.
So, Elijah and Jeremiah, they like, all right, cool. They ain't tripping up and anything like that. Heaven's a baby. You know what I'm saying? So, Sam just put his hood over his head. And so, Hannah was like, you know what? And you could tell she was hurt by it. I can't be mad. I really can't be mad. That happened after you left. Da, 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 da. But then she was like, but by who? And I was like, Jonte.
Because she already knew.
She already knew who Jonte was because I always told her about Jonte and stuff. And this is my friend. And it's always, go ahead.
Like I said, y'all know more about our story. There was a crossroads time where we fell in love with each other as friends. Now, we never did anything with that. And when I say nothing, I mean like we never
kissed. We never did anything.
Never it was sexual. We actually had stopped being friends. Like okay. That's actually when I went into my relationship with Manny. After that, like we didn't even talk to each other for 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 and a half
years.
Yeah,
like we actually had even stopped talking to each other. So nothing happened from it, but she knew of me because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she was like, eyes got bloodshot red. Anybody about that cuss word, B word. And then, so I'm like this, Sam, when I say Sam pulls the drawstring again on his hoodie, like, oh, so she walks up to me, she starts like going off. And then she is like, now, I want y'all to listen to this. It took me the 3rd time for this to register. She said, a known demon is better than an unknown angel. And I was like, what? She said, a known demon is better than an unknown angel. And I'm looking in my head, I'm flipping it. And then she said, a known bleeping demon is better than an unknown angel. Or wherever the heck she is, because she ain't no angel. Now it's registering. She called herself a known demon. Okay? She called herself, not one, not 2, but 3 times. That wasn't her talking. That was the demon that was in her that was talking. And then she said, I cuss you. You won't be able to go see that baby. Your leg's going to get cut off. Like Sam like, hey, yo. Sam literally grabbed me. I was like, Pops, come on, bro. It's time for you to go, Pops.
And then
like,
she started trying to say stuff about my
womb and trying to curse the baby.
She said the baby wasn't going to be healthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I remember I told you my mom.
I was like, rebuke it.
Mm-hmm. My mom did the same thing. Okay. So that's why when I say I married my mother, that's what I mean when I say I married my mother. I married the alike spirit that I had no idea.
Familiar spirits.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand that familiar spirits are actually assigned to us by Satan. Like, he assigns familiar spirits. And don't think they'd be like, oh, when you get older. No. He assigns them at birth.
You don't even know.
You don't even know. These are, like, when you look at deliverance videos, a lot of times they'll say, she is mine, or he is mine. Who sent you? He is mine. This birth, from birth. A lot of time. Ooh, Jesus. Yes. Ooh, that's okay, guys. We're gonna come back. He's purging. Yes. All right, guys, we're back. That is what you call a purge.
That was a purge.
Yes.
And you want to explain what purge is? That way I know.
Yeah. So a purge is pretty much when you give your life over to Christ and you truly repent, and you have to have a relationship with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and you allow the Holy Spirit to become the head of your life. You allow Jesus to become the head of your life, your world, your heart, your spirit, and you ask him to reintegrate you and to reintegrate your heart and your soul and to make both of them whole again, I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of people that don't think they got demons in them, you got demons in you. Trust. I'm speaking from experience. Just the other day, and I'm gonna tell my story about this too a little later, but I went through a deliverance. I didn't even know. Like, if you're drinking, smoking, partying, being on the devil's praying, fornicating, baby, you do. And a lot of times they will lay dormant inside of you. They want to make you think they're not there, because I was told this, because one of them, should I tell them? One of them was laughing. And when you going through this deliverance, they're talking. You can hear them talking. One of them was laughing. And it was like, humans are so stupid. He said, you guys are so stupid. He was like, you do all of these things. You fornicate, you drink, you smoke, and you think you're having fun. And he said, it's so easy for us to enter. He said, we lie dormant inside of you, not even letting you know that we're there, so that when the time comes, we can claim you for ourselves. Because a lot of people don't give their life over to Christ.
Legal contracts
and
in the spiritual realm.
You are literally creating legal contracts. And that's why a lot of people are like, I don't have to give permission to it. You don't have to say
you already did by your
Once
sins.
The minute you done took that drink and swallowed it, you've given permission to it to enter. And that's why these are God's commandments. You're going against his commandments. And to be honest, when we're in our sin, it blocks God's ears. So that's why I say, go to We Need to Talk. There's so many times where they'll be like, there's a demon standing in front of them, and they'll be like, blood of Jesus. And that demon start laughing and being like, oh, Jesus ain't here. He can't hear you.
And that's the things that you
Yes,
do.
it's the
You
things
take
you do.
oaths, and you doing all type of other stuff. Even when you go to like these so-called celebrities, these concerts.
Be careful with the concerts, y'all.
Yeah.
I've been told this. I've been told Oshun controls Beyonce and an incubus spirit controls Chris Brown. That's why he's so sexual.
And then when y'all go to these concerts and stuff, y'all giving that spirit a contract to enter right into y'all. It don't matter if you at church, anything. You all go to church every Sunday, but you doing these things of the world. It's a slap in God's face. And
we both are.
Bruh.
We're actually seeing this in real time, because I promise y'all I didn't believe in this stuff. I used to be like, that stuff is fake. It happened to me. Like, I've gone through it. It is not fake. Nothing about it is fake. It is real. And I told y'all in one of my videos, my dad was so right. He used to say, one of the greatest tricks the devil ever played was to make people think he didn't exist. That's how he was able to spread the way he spread. Y'all pay attention. Wake up. I promise you, I don't drink no more. I don't smoke no more. We're celibate until God has called us to the altar to be married. Like, we're not playing, okay? I don't listen to secular music no more.
I was just trying to say, boy, like anybody tell you, bro, I would listen to Don Tripp all day, every day.
He don't even listen to him no more. We stopped. Like, y'all, it matters. They come through the eyes, the ears, and the mouth. They enter. That's why sometimes when you see deliverance videos, they'll be like, you came in with the breath, you have to leave with the breath. And so when you're purging, a lot of times when you fast and you pray, you will start to vomit. Y'all, you're not just, it's a spiritual thing. You're vomiting up those demons. And you have to reintegrate yourself and bind those spirits to the abyss.
Lord, I boy, I can't even talk. Lord, I reintegrate myself inside the blood of Jesus.
Like, y'all, it's real. This is no joke. And a lot of times we be thinking that we can get high and read the Bible. No.
Go party, read the Bible.
Go party and read the Bible. Go to church on Sunday after we was just twerking it up in the club on Saturday. It don't work that way. And that's one thing I can say that I feel like churches fail at. Churches, a lot of pastors, a lot of bishops, like, you know, Catholic, whatever, wherever you go to, they become the one you go to for deliverance. They become the one that you go to for God's word, and that's not how it's supposed to be. Yes, he delivers the word. Yes, he is anointed, but he is supposed to be, God has trusted him with souls, that person or her. That person is supposed to be teaching you to have your own relationship with God. You are supposed to know how to deliver yourself, not to, oh, shoot, something wrong with me, let me go to the pastor. No, let me go to God, because then you are making the pastor your God at that point. You don't go to church for the pastor. You don't go to church for the bishop. You go to church for Yahweh. You go to church for God. If the pastor wasn't there, church must continue because you're going there for God. That's what church is for. But a lot of y'all be like, well, I go to go see Bishop. You already going for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
That's not why you're
it's like, I thank God that the church my grandmother brought me up to, a Faith Charity Pentecostal Gospel Church, which is at 907 James Street. Go. People in Saginaw, Michigan. But yeah, by me growing up there since I was a little kid, I seen deliverances and stuff like that. So those type things don't scare me.
I didn't.
You know, so by me seeing those things at a young age and stuff like that.
Yes, Jesus. Oh yeah.
So she speaking tongues. That's like, but
yes.
things that y'all wouldn't believe. Oh, it's real. And that's why people used to try to mock it and stuff. You guys, my friends, I tell them, nah, bro, that stuff real. No, the deliverance is written, bro. No, that stuff is real. We don't know how many demons. Okay. Look, you can be married to the wrong person that ain't got nothing to do with the contract that you're supposed to be with.
And that's a whole nother video.
That's a whole nother video.
That's a whole nother video.
I'm one of them.
We both met. Like, we were actually told some things about our bloodline. And y'all know how, like, they crossbreed animals? Like, they mix a chicken with a duck, some craziness, right? And they come up with different animals. Or like the liger, a lion and tiger. In the spirit realm, when you ordain yourself or come into covenant with somebody that God did not ordain you to be with, you're crossbreeding. Because there's lineages that God has ordained to be together for a purpose. And what the devil does is he can make you confused, right? He makes us think that we can choose our partners based on our desires and our flesh. So we do so. And by the laws of the spirit, he looking at God like, hey, they married now. So by your laws, your commandment, they must now fornicate and multiply, right? They must be fruitful. I'm sorry. They must, because fornication is outside, right? It's the absence of marriage. So they must be fruitful and now multiply, which means now these children now becoming this part of this bloodline or this lineage when they weren't originally supposed to. Like, it's deeper. And we are so blind. I'm trying to tell you, it was laughing. It was like, you humans are so stupid. So serious. Like, I did not know it was real. But God has put a calling on. He's actually told me this months ago, and me and him been in this, journey. And he told me that I was going to be, he's going to assign me to deliver people from demons. And I was like, huh? What? I don't know what you're talking about, Lord. Demon? Oh, no, if we don't deal with that, I don't even got none. And he looked, God was like, oh, you don't think you have any? We about to see about that. Y'all, Jesus. Man. And then I ended up receiving the gift of tongues from praying, not necessarily a demon off of me, but I was praying over something that I had come in contact with, like from when I was doing like tarot and crystals and stuff, and I had received the gift of tongues. So don't take what we're saying lightly, okay? And spread the word. If you do have a testimony out there regarding anything we're talking about, or any it might be opposite, because different people have different stories because of different things that they go through. Excuse me. Spread it. Spread the gospel. Spread your testimony. Because God also holds us responsible. When he delivers you from something, he expects you to tell people about it. Because if not, he's going to make you responsible for all those souls that didn't get saved because you kept your mouth shut. He's going to put those souls on your head. He's like, you're going to pay for that.
Or if you hurt somebody and you didn't know it.
Yes.
All that stuff. Man. It's way deeper than a physical realm thing. The spiritual realm, it is what you don't.
And there's laws in the spiritual realm, and we break them. And we swing open illegal spiritual doors when we doing drugs and stuff. And the thing is, the devil knows all of this because he's a legalist. He's that lawyer that comes in with that document. Like, I've got all these contracts under oath with this person because they have locked this door coming to covenant with this demon, which means, God, this person now belongs to me. This soul now belongs to me. But giving your life over to Christ, having your heart in it, and giving him authority over you, your life, and claiming authority through Jesus Christ, you can break any contract with the devil. He'll make you think that you can't. You can. So, Have anything else you want to add for right now?
No. I was thinking about something. It slipped my mind, but it was something very important.
Okay. But
that's Treasure over there.
Yeah. But stay tuned. We got more coming. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up and play with my baby now. Because she had woken up for her nap, and we wanted to make sure we got this video out. And mind you, we are grateful for all of the support that we received.
And thank you, yes.
Thank you so much. But I do want to make this clear: this is not about us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about us at all.
This is just our testimonies of things we done went through. You know,
this is all to serve God. I'm like all to serve God and give Him the glory, because our lives wouldn't be the way they are, and what we're going through. I don't even know, like, people don't even, they're like, y'all don't even act like what y'all going. God, it's the grace of God, you know, it's the anointing. Like I feel like everybody should experience this, you know what I'm saying? You want to tell everybody about it. You know who Jesus is, because I know you need to know who Jesus is. But we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.